here. We're doing a collective message for whoever for Virgo season. I'm a couple days late. We're already in it. So there was a new moon in Virgo yesterday, I think, because it's a Sunday. Yeah. So normally I wouldn't film something when my neighbors are out and like there's some dogs and stuff, but I'm actually I'm getting this feeling of like being almost like at a cookout, or like almost just like at a family function, or just like a party that is where you are able to be yourself, and I don't know, and like the noise isn't necessarily like distracting in any way. It's like, oh, these are family sounds, or like the sounds that are in your own house, like of the TV going, or that kind of thing. So I hope you don't mind, but I do think it might be part of our message anyway. So another preliminary thing is there is a tree that I sit right across from, and this tree is like like it feels like a representative for me of my guides, or like of a watcher in some sense, something like that. And I give it a little hug. I'm like obviously a big hippie, but trees are literally alive and they're really here for us to hug them if you want. So this tree is this tree and I are close, we're buds. And I came out today, and I haven't been outside in a couple of days, and we've had like a crazy couple of storms. I live in Massachusetts, so in the Northeast there have been a lot of storms, and one of the branches on it was like a big branch, was like hanging off, and it was like halfway up, and it was halfway down, and I was like, oh, what does this mean? So I looked at it, and like part of it was still attached, so I took this branch and I just kind of like twisted it so that it could come off. And I think there's something that has maybe fallen off, but I didn't get any sort of like, oh no kind of feeling. I was a little surprised, but I get the impression that this is like, not that the tree branch was dead, but that like in the metaphor, what we're going off of here, that there is something that is dead, that it's like, it's almost like you're getting it as a trophy. Like it's over, and now it doesn't have any harm to you or anything, and you can kind of like hold it. I don't know what that means, but we will find out. It's a natural sort of a death though. Something died in a storm, something was taken away in a storm, and but yeah, you might be finding out like, oh, actually, I don't know, this is the way it was supposed to be. Great, let's get some cards. Okay. Oh, and we got tons of planes and stuff. And I'm normally like, oh my God, I hate the planes, but like definitely not getting that feeling today. All right, so we've got Wisdom of the Tao. Maybe I'm just in my Tao today. And we'll get a couple of little messages, just something maybe we can focus on, think of, not even anticipate for Virgo season, just like sit in and appreciate, I don't know, a new journey. Oh, we'd love to see it. Let's read this one. You have known, oh my God, actually I'm getting a really good feeling about this. Okay. You have known of this new venture for some time, and you have prepared well for it. Resonate with your calling and move forward without looking back. Your courage and determination will be celebrated. Whatever you just lost was too much weight. There was too much weight. And it's so funny too, because I think there's also this, like, there might have been like a fighting against it, of like a, no, I don't want to lose this, or like, I did lose it and I don't want to look at it, or like there was something that really hurt. And now that it's like gone, it's almost like it's around, it's almost like it's come back or something, and you can look at it and you're like, oh, or like you had to look at it to remove it from your pack. Or like, we were talking about the tree branch dangling off, like there was something dangling off of your pack here and it was weighing you down, and the whole time you were like trying to lug it on, and then you're like, wait a minute, I can just let this go. Like, oh, okay. So it like naturally falls off your pack. You're a lot lighter, and because of that, it's almost like you're able to like circle back to it, or you can see it in a different way, and you're like, oh, that thing maybe wasn't necessarily as, like, it was heavy for you to hold, but it wasn't as critical to your journey as you thought it was, or they were not as critical. So it has like a harmless feeling to it. So even though it was too heavy for you to hold, it wasn't the thing that, or the person or the situation that was the problem. It was you holding it, which was the problem. And so now you're looking at it and you're like, oh, okay. Something like that. And I think that this is also, though, like, it takes strength to let go and to hold boundaries and stuff. Confidence. Oh my God. And do you hear this train like tooting at us? We're on our way. Oh, I love this. I love this feeling. I'm actually getting, well, now we've got the train and everything. I'm getting this like image of someone who's been at the train station for a long time, and there was like a whole subplot of the other people who were at this train station, but now like you're on the train. I'm trying to see if that has anything else, but I'm just picturing someone and like they're sitting, you know, in the movie when, yeah, like someone's at a train and like they're sitting by the window and they've got their like luggage with them and they've got like a nice outfit that they're like, it's like the new journey outfit, and there's a confidence in wearing your new journey outfit, like wearing your best to go on this adventure. But you know what's so funny is like there is like I want to say a solemn sadness, but I'm going to elaborate. I'm going to extrapolate on that because it's not what I really mean. There is a dignity, maybe something along those vibes where you're like, I've been through something. I've seen some shit. And I'm even hearing like, you're on your way to this party. We were talking about how like I'm listening to my neighbors have a little bit of a get together. There's actually just a couple of really cute old women kind of chatting on their patio. So it's got like almost even also a feminine vibe too, of like a gathering of women all together. So maybe, I don't know, that might have some sort of correlation. But either way, there's just like somewhere that you're going and you're like, I belong here and I feel welcome here and I feel like I can. Confidence is even quiet. Oh, Nori's running over. Hey, Nora. Meow. Do you want to say hi? Let me scoop you here. Wow. She's so beautiful, isn't she? Yeah, there's a quiet confidence. Like true confidence is when you're in a room and you don't have to say anything. You don't have to be funny. You don't have to drink. You don't have to like do it. You're just chilling there, and everyone's like, yeah, that's just them. Like they're just chilling. There's nothing expected of you. Excuse me, ooh, little burp of confirmation. And there's even like, yeah, it's just like no pressure. So I get great vibes for Virgo season already. This is such a cool reading. Let's do this one. God of Love. Sometimes I get funky vibes about this guy because he's got black eyes. I don't know. But in this particular case, I feel like this is about being surrounded by abundance. And I'm even getting a little thing about like, so that tree I was saying kind of represents like the greater being watched, because this is kind of like a little prayer spot for me. So I'm seeing almost someone like picking a leaf off of the money tree, of like being given a lovely gift from the universe, but it's like the universe is like creating something of themselves to give to you. And this is different from, I think this is, it's obviously not the burden of the thing that you were just carrying, but it is like in the shape of, or like in replacement of, or like will hold it will fit snugly into the place that you were trying to fit this other thing that simply didn't work and like just wasn't it. So this means, so it might be like a same thing. Like for instance, if you lost a career, you might be gaining a career. If you lost a person, you might be gaining a person. It doesn't have to be though. But it might be like the better version of they were even just supposed to say, whoa. Not the better version. Just a different version. They also, yeah, there's like a don't knock and just say that what you just went through was not a big deal. And like, oh, they just weren't for me, or that just wasn't made for me. No. They were. It was. It was exactly what you needed, what everyone needed. And that like suffering in particular, like the wisdom nuggets that come from suffering should not just be strewn about. That was hard won. You did some really hard work. So that's what that's all about. And you're getting, it's not a reward though. It's so funny too, because I feel like I'm being a little bit policed on how I deliver this message. It's not a reward for what you went through. It is simply a new thing. Yeah, like the karmic energy of whatever wasn't working is like unrelated to this thing. And it's even like, yeah, it's not a replacement. It's simply a new thing. All right, great. I think it was this guy. Master. Yeah, man, look, you're on this train and you are composed. Confident, composed, calm, collected. And there's like a peace that comes from that. Peace can only really come after we know exactly how dangerous we are. So you might have been integrating with your shadow self. You might have gone into some really deep childhood wounds. The last chapter in your life might have been absolutely gnarly. But you watched yourself, you coached yourself through a dark night of the soul. So you have earned a rest, and it's easy for you to accept this rest because you know what the stakes are. You're a master. That's what it takes. It's been dark, I think, and it's not dark anymore. It's not like it won't be dark ever again. I'm actually even seeing there's a fly on my camera here. This thing that was a burden in the past, like the tree branch, like lugging it around and everything, I get the impression that it's like it's still there, but it's like the dynamic that you had with it is different. So it might still be a person who's around, but it's like your relationship with them is so different, that it's totally, that like you might even in a year or two, or like in a couple of months or something, like you might even like forget that it was such a big deal, or you're just like, oh, that's just how they are. And like now that you're not expecting them to be a certain way, you're like, I don't know, like, okay. Or yeah, it was a job or something and you're like, damn, like what I have now is so much better than the last place I worked. Like those people were nuts. I was so stressed, like, oh my God, like, or, a living situation, like there's so many things that can just be a burden onto us. And like once they're gone, oh my God, I'm even hearing church bells. It's like just not having to carry them around anymore is the reward. So this new thing you're getting is not the reward for that. It's just like it's just something new. Yeah, you're a master though. There's like this fearlessness. What can't I go through? That was a hot mess. So bring it on, whatever. I love that kind of confidence. Yeah. And you know what's funny is like this part that I was talking about, how like you were at the train station before you actually took the train, and now you're like sitting on it, and I don't even know that it's taken off. The image I just see is of like someone like settling in, and you got like maybe a book or something and a little snacky poo. Like you're just, I just love that feeling. So, interesting. And actually they said like, look at the bottom here. Temptation. Oh. Okay, because let me finish what I was going to say, and then we can go to this. What is she meowing for? Oh. She's sitting on the steps. She meows to get out, and then we're out, and she's like, I want to go back in. Classic cat. So, okay, this is all a part of the reading. So what I was going to say was, there was something about going to this train station. Like, I think it might have even taken you a while just to get to the platform. And that was its own journey. But then when you were there, it was almost like you were like, I don't want to leave now, or something like that. And there was this like a temptation. And even sitting on this train car where we're like, I know I'm going to go. You're like, I don't know, if they offered me more money, I might stay. Or you're like, I don't know, if they came to me with a ring, I might accept their proposal. Or like, there's still, okay, so yeah. It's all coming together. So like how I said, that thing is still around. and there was like a fly, and flies usually mean like being watched, or there's just something like kind of maybe stinks a little bit. I don't know, like they're still around, and there's still like a desire that keeps you attached to them. And there's maybe even you still allow yourself in fantasy to be like, what if it was different? What if it hadn't gone that way? And I feel like that's fine. I just don't get off the train, you know? I don't think that you made the wrong call. I think you should be on this train, and you should just take it. Yeah, let's read this. The desire for excessive gain and accumulation leads to misfortune. The greatest contentment is in knowing when you have enough, and all temptation is banished. Escape from the trap that imprisons you. Refuse to be a victim. Be free. I think either this person or this situation like might have offered you something, and they were like, oh, this is this great opportunity, like almost implying like you should be grateful that they would present you with this like burden. And you were, at the time you were like, hell yeah, thank you, like, man, someone sees my worth here, hello. But then you were like, wait a minute, screw you, like you're either not compensating me well, or you're not loving me good, or you're not, like, whatever it was simply not what was promised. You figured it out, you left, or yeah, you're on the train here. There was some temptation to get you to stay in your old life, but I think in the cosmic scope of things, and they're still sniffing around, or you're not completely done with the situation, I don't know, but yeah, in the cosmic sense of things, this was like a test, you know. It's not even a test that you were like ever really in danger of failing either. It was just kind of a fun plot point, you know. So you don't have to, if you're maybe even a little concerned, like, oh, what if they do come in and they say all the right things, like, what am I, you know? I don't think you have to be worried about that. I think you're always going to make the right decision. You're going to do what's right for you, and let the person, like, also the person that you are in these circumstances is not by chance. Something like, you will have kind of a molding so that you're the right version of yourself to say the right thing, to say either yes or no, you know. So if you feel like maybe you'd still be weak right now if you saw that person again, or if that place offered you more money, or if it's a family thing and they're like, oh, you should come home, or whatever it is that you're like, oh, I'm so tempted by this, but like it was a burden to me, I think that they would not, I don't think you're going to be faced with any sort of like hard decision that will the weak side, like the tender side of yourself is not going to be upfront. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be a stronger version of yourself, and or you might already be this strong version of yourself, and you just like you don't like recognize it because it hasn't been challenged. I don't know. So like there might wind up being a conversation of some kind where you are like, you have to tell someone no, and you're like, at one point this offer would have made me so happy, but like you've shown me that it's not, you can't give me what I need. I've already got this ticket. You like, I was already on the platform with you for ages. You had this like you had your shot and you blew it. So like, I don't know what you want me to do. I've got this beautiful party of people who love me, who I'm allowed to just chill and be content with. Like, I'm allowed to just be myself with. I don't have to like, oh, it's not gonna be like a whole thing. Like, I'm gonna go hang out with them. So yeah. And I think the fact that, you know, you're just willing to leave if you gotta leave, like, that's so important to show yourself. So yeah, like, maybe this is your story in the future. Maybe this is what you just went through. However you feel like it resonates with you. And, you know, I'm actually just gonna pull, normally I don't know, there's nothing, I don't do anything the same way twice practically with these readings, but like, sometimes I'll pull a Magic the Gathering card and we'll like clarify each of these individually. But I actually think I'm just gonna pull 3 as like its own little closing message, I guess. And that'll be Virgo season. So yeah. And if you want a personal reading, I'm still doing those. You can just hit me up like kind of however too. Like if you just like DM me on Instagram, we'll figure it out. But I also have like a more official link in the description box below. So, okay, here we go. Oh, should I wait for one to jump out or what? I don't know. Okay, I think it's these two. That feels like it's part of it too. So let me clarify. I think maybe this one? Okay, let's see. Oh, hell yeah. Okay, this is giving me like a condensed version of the story. All right, so like at one point you're at your wit's end here, and it causes you to, I'm hearing actually like seek outwards. Like your soul was like almost like ripping out of your skin. You're like, this is an unbearable situation in some capacity. And then though, this caused, where am I at? And this caused like a hermit. I like this guy. He's in this cave and he's covered, he's surrounded by gold, and he's a hermit. And you know, the hermit card in tarot is basically like taking time to yourself to to find wisdom and to take the right path. The hermit is also looking down. They've got a lantern that's up, but they're looking down. So they're taking the path, right? Like the Tao, what's your path? You got that all situated now, and it's like divine favor. We're coming across something that is fate, that's been fated to happen. You've been walking towards it the entire time and you just didn't see it. And even me shuffling and being like, oh, do I take this one? Do I not? I think you might have thought that you had to do more, but I actually think that this thing is going to be coming, like something's going to be like fallen into your lap, and all you have to do is accept it. You don't have to overly push. And I actually think this burden you just put down, or the situation that you just left, or whatever it wasn't, or maybe it's just on your mind, it happened years ago and you've just been thinking about it a lot and you've been like, I still feel bad about it. You were enough. You were always enough. The fact that the situation wasn't more fluid was the indication that it simply was not going to last. I almost said that it wasn't for you, but it was for you because it happened to you, because you were a part of it. But yeah, this is like the, yeah, you just like rest assured, just feel good about what's coming. Because it's almost like you're going on vacation, and maybe you are going on vacation, but like that is the feeling, the vacation of your life. So beautiful. Look what you survived. Man, this was tough. But you knew exactly what to do. You knew to go inside of yourself, find that self-respect. Yeah. All right. My mom just got home and I'm going to chat with her. My info is below. Goodbye.